Hey man, you can't state any opinion about black female athletes without the approval of black women. This is the mentality of the matriarchy. And this is how they oversee black men. They threaten them, they disrespect them, and the threat here is obvious. Oh my God, black women, look at Emmanuel Acho. He's outside the limitations and the boundaries that we have set for black men. How dare he correct, criticize, question a black woman without a black woman approving of it beforehand? What other group of people are policed this way? Their thoughts policed this way by their women. This is insulting. This group of angry feminists and the simps who support them, they have to be stopped. And you're going to justify the buffoonish, lying, manipulative behavior of these angry black women. And I'm sorry that it sounds so hard and I sound so different because everybody else panders and oh my God, you're the greatest. Everything that comes out of your mouth, the matriarchy and single black mamas, they're carrying the black man and they're carrying the black community. Where are they carrying us to? Straight to hell. Look at our kids. This is not a success story. This is a story about a group of people who have rejected family structure, who have rejected male leadership, and the destruction that's wrought when you do that. That's what this story is. And if you've cracked open a Bible, and I know Chris has, it's all in there. You destroy the family, you destroy everything. And there are repercussions to our kids growing up in this matriarchal culture. And there are repercussions for black women anointing themselves and the culture anointing them as the overseers of black men.
Okay, shalom, shalom. As always, I want to start these videos by giving all glory, honor, and thanks to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son for this wisdom and knowledge. That is Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahawashi, Bahashim, Harakak, as well as the double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS Great Millstone, whom I learned this truth under, and a shalom to the rest of the elders and Akim around the globe, bringing this word out within sincerity, truth, and diligence. And I've been sitting on this over the weekend, and this is it's just same typical nonsense we gotta put up with every day as so-called black men here in Babylon the Great America, this hell, this bitter last final captivity. And one of the worst, if not the worst, is our women ruling over us. And two quotes from both videos that I noted and took away from that was the first video, Jason Whitlock on the screen. He says, what other group of people are policed that way by their women? To the point where that basically a whole bunch of bitter, angry, NW feminists got on this one Jake for basically trying to correct this young woman about, basically calling her out on her BS. And the feminist mob, like the Beehive, got together and stung them up through social media. And is that straight up we're the only, that it shows the curses that we're under, where our women, they are the overseers of the plantation on us. And that goes back to slavery, also goes back to that Willie Lynch letter. Esau set the system up for the woman to be over the man. But what man specifically? Starting with the tribe of Judah. That's who caught the worst of that curse. Judah, so-called blacks. And we're going to get into that. And in the second video, he said, he was mocking how women are leading the black community, and where are they leading us? Straight to hell. And he said, look at our kids. And that's why you see this degenerate, face tatted, gun toting, gang banging, pussy selling, OnlyFans having just morally corrupt generation today, because you took the fathers out the home, and that allowed the devil, Esau, Edom, the serpent, once again to bring us into a low state. So let's get into it, because the first, speaking on this feminist hell, this feminist jail cell, starting with Judah, the so-called blacks, and the rest of the tribes, but definitely with the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, that we're under in this captivity America. The very first feminist was Eve. Eve was the first feminist. So speaking on this, let's because we're not African either. So let's get to that, because some people, the so-called black woman, there's a difference between blacks, so-called blacks, and so-called Africans. Right here on the screen shows you the difference between an Israelite man of the southern kingdom and a Hamite, which is the so-called Africans. Those were the ancient Egyptians. Okay, you see Kevin Durant, Israelite, most likely from the tribe of Judah, on the left, and a Hamite on the right. There's a clear and obvious distinct difference between the two. And again, because what Esau liked to do is oh, your own people sold you in, but really it was mainly the Africans, the so-called Hamites, that helped sell us into Esau's hands through the slave trade, the American slave trade. And once, last, to nail the point home, you got a Jake, Israelite, on the left and a Hamite on the right. Why I want to visually show that is because there is a difference between when we say so-called blacks, we're not talking about Hamites, we're not talking about the so-called Africans, we're talking about our people. And the first feminist was Eve herself, going back to Genesis in that garden. Let's just nail a couple differences between the Israelite woman and the African, so-called African, but the Hamites, which were the ancient Egyptians. Ancient Egypt was the first captivity where all 12 tribes were in slavery, and America, modern day Egypt, is the last one, the second one, where all 12 tribes of Israel are locked into bondage. Exodus 1 verse 18. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, why have ye done this thing, and have saved the men, children alive? And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively and delivered the midwives come in unto them. Another one, and just to really set the point that there's a difference between blacks and Africans, and these curses affect the children of Israel. They don't affect Ham. They don't affect these other nations. They affect the so-called blacks, especially, which are Israelites. Exodus 11 verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. And once again, the Egyptians, the ancient Egyptians, were these Hamites. On the right, they were first had us in captivity, and they had, the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, gonna look like this on the left. Okay, so and going back to this pic, going into slavery, into the modern day Egypt, it says this right here in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, the very last verse. Everyone knows how the so-called Negroes got here. And Deuteronomy 28 verse 68, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bond men and bond women, and no man shall buy you. Right here we see that. Okay, those the Hamites helped sell us in as well into Esau, Edom's hands, the devil himself, that serpent. And why I'm going into this is because what happened when we got to America? Immediately, our women, took the side of the oppressor. Okay, is survival. Women are going to take the side of the man with the power. We don't have any power being under this devil's hand. So Esau, he took hold of our women and our kids as well. But what he does, and it shows you in the Willie Lynch letter, is he gives the woman more power over the man, and over generation, the woman will teach the kids, the sons in particular, to be obedient to the oppressor, especially the daughters. That's why he gives the woman power. And it speaks on this in Isaiah, the 3rd chapter. That's what I titled this after. Okay, so this is a very long curse we've been under, and it's highlighted the most in this last captivity in Esau Edom's hands in America. Isaiah 3 verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. And that's what this guy Jason Whitlock was going into, how Eve, she loves to flex and scream how she's running the household, this and that, but she's running the household into a pit of hell. The last, and that, Lord willing, I get a lesson later today, the last 6 decades, Esau has allowed the woman to rule the house and incentivize that. And look at the complete chaos and degeneracy and all the death and sorrow in America alone since women have gotten a hold of these households. It's straight madness out here. And that's the devil Esau, the serpent, beguiling Eve once again. We're seeing this shit play out in modern day. And Jake, the spirit of men, we tired of this. That's why you have all these movements on the internet, your passport bros, your MGTOW, your SYSBM, your EBM, all these movements to escape the clutches of feminism, because it's a completely perverted system, and it's not how it should be. Esau, the devil that he is, he swears his presidents in and claims that this is a Bible God-fearing country, yet he don't follow anything that's in the Bible. Okay, first of all, starting off the order, it's clear. You have the Most High, Yahweh, His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, and then the man, and then the woman, and then the children. There's a clear hierarchy. But what Esau did is he took that away, and he took the man out the house and gave these women all these little government benefits. And now we're seeing a straight godless, especially in the Southern Kingdom, so-called Negroes, all this godless behavior, because you don't have any masculine discipline in the house for these children. Let's get it. Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, this is going to be 25, starting at verse 24 through 26. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. If she go, not as thou wouldest, have her cut off from thy flesh, and give her a bill of divorce, and let her go. And that shows you the wickedness of Esau. You got all these athletes and celebrities. You got Tom Brady, the greatest NFL player of all time, who I believe had 2 divorces. You got Jeff Bezos, who was one of the so-called, he's pretend richest guy on the planet. We know the elites are much higher above him. But Jeff Bezos of Amazon, if the owner of Amazon can't keep his woman in check, who the fuck divorces the owner of Amazon? Who divorces Tom Brady? Who divorces Michael Jordan? Well, Esau, what he does is he gives them an incentive. He gives them a financial incentive. Eddie Murphy talked about that, how these women in America, he designed a system where if you're a man of wealth, the woman can divorce you and take half. That's complete wickedness. If a man in the ancient world were to give a woman, for not following after under his ways, a bill of divorce, she leaves and she don't get anything, including the children. Esau flipped that upside down, and we can see that clear as day of a society not only of single parents, of single mothers. These children, not only just Judah, but these white kids, so-called white kids, all these the America in totality being raised 6 straight decades with this predominantly single mother raised households. Job 14 at the top. Man that is born of a woman is of few days, and full of trouble. He cometh forth like a flower, and is cut down. He fleeth also as a shadow, and continueth not. okay, full of trouble. That's what you're going to see. And I had several. We all, as Akim, I'm sure, had several friends in the world back when in our youth, is if not us being one of them, Thawada Yahweh Yahweh Shai, we didn't, and Lord willing we stay, we don't go down their path, but our friends being raised by their mama all out in the streets with no type of guidance, no type of discipline, doing who knows what because no one's watching them. Isaiah 10 at the top. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And back in 100 years ago, 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, before this bullshit feminist movement, Jake had businesses. We had hotels. We had bus companies. We had all types of stuff. We had the highest marriage rate in the country. Jake had all this, especially Judah. But once again, Eve being beguiled by that serpent, who the modern day serpent is, you so-called whites, Esau, Edom, he tricked her again. And all Esau knows is death. So once again, in Sirach 25:24, the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. That's why Esau incentivized the woman to be the head of the house, which is creates nothing but death. And if Jake don't go to death, he gonna go to jail most likely. And it speaks on that. Isaiah 42 verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes. They are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith restore. And that's going back to that Deuteronomy 28:68, where it said, no man shall buy you. We are in the clutches of this devil's hand. And then modern day, you fast forward to he basically reincarnated slavery with these jails and prisons. He brought back plantation slavery, and who do you see majority in those prison houses? So-called Negroes and Hispanics, all up in the jail system. And Esau, he that's what he wants. And going back to this guy Jason Whitlock, he said that these single parent homes, mainly single mother homes, are a direct pipeline to going to prison, to these prisons. And that's how Esau, the devil, can get, again, free labor off of our people. But the woman, just like Esau we already know Esau gonna pay. Esau gonna pay severely. But Eve, in these last days, when Esau's his little reign of terror and wickedness comes crashing down, starting in America, when he loses his power, the woman who's got her left-handed power too through wickedness, she gon' catch straight hell. And she's gonna be the number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7 target in these streets when there's no police, when there's no protection. Men gonna come hunting for these prideful women who've helped further afflict and oppress the Israelite man in this captivity. She has become our enemy. Lamentations 4 verse 6. For the punishment of the iniquity of the daughter of my people is greater than the punishment of the sin of Sodom, that was overthrown as in a moment, and no hand stayed on her. Get another one. Micah 7 verse 10. We'll start at verse 9, because this starts with this punishment being under this feminist system is one of the indignations that the Lord put on us. We're in a very brutal timeout. The Wada Yahweh Shai, we know this is our last captivity, but this is still a punishment, having our women rule over us. It's embarrassing on a global scale, and it speaks on that to Micah 7:9. But again, when that system of feminism comes crashing down, Micah 7:10 gonna pop off. Micah 7 verse 9. I will bear the indignation of the Lord, because I have sinned against him, until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me. He will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. Micah 7 verse 10. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. And you can, in these inner cities, you can just imagine what type of hell these women gonna catch. as soon as they take away those police. And you got UN troops, them UN stormtroopers in the streets. They gonna get busy on these women too. Ain't nothing to stop them from grabbing what they want. And let's close off on this. Speaking on through all these years of feminism, especially the Israelite woman, the so-called black woman, she's made herself such an enemy of her own men that men have grown to despise all of these modern day westernized feminist women. And it speaks on this in Jeremiah the 4th chapter, Jeremiah 4 verse 30. And when thou art spoiled, what wilt thou do? Though thou clothest thyself with crimson, though thou deckest thee with ornaments of gold, though thou rentest thy face with painting, in vain shalt thou make thyself fair. Thy lovers will despise thee, they will seek thy life. For I have heard a voice as of a woman in travail, and the anguish as of her that bringeth forth her first child, the voice of the daughter of Zion, that bewaileth herself, that spreadeth her hands, saying, Woe is me now, for my soul is worried because of murderers. And all these it's gonna be straight hell out here. And Jake, a lot of these Jakes that got put on child support, that got false allegations put on them, got fired from their job, got the divorce, got their kids hidden from them, got put on alimony, all types of shady shit that these women done did. They gonna pay for that severely in these last days. So we're just, it just highlights the curses that we're under. But Lord willing that, Thawada Yahweh Yahweh Shai, this is our last captivity, and all these curses that we're under, you niggas, you heathen nations is gonna feel that too. Double. We gonna fill y'all cup double. I hope this is edifying. Shalom.